What's up? What's up? What's up? What's going on, people? What's going on? I am in the building. We are live, like we like to say. Make sure you share this with all your people that's using Pro Tools. I'm back doing a live update. It's been a minute. I've missed the last, I think, 2, maybe 3 updates. The last one of these I did was 2023.6, and so 2023.9, and then .12, and then 12.1 I missed because I was super busy with projects. But now I got a little bit of time on my hands. I've delivered everything I need to deliver, and so I'm in between starting a new thing, and so I figured I'd hop on here. This was just announced today. I saw it kind of, I think, by accident, possibly. Because it was posted in our Facebook group for the Avid control surfaces about the compatibility between this new version and the old version. I was like, okay, wait a minute, where's that at? I went in my Avid link account, did not see the update, and I said, okay, well, maybe it's just, hasn't been released yet. And then I double checked on the Avid Pro Tools page on Facebook, nothing there, which usually that's the first place you see it. Then I said, you know what, let me just log into my account. And sure enough, I logged into my Pro Tools account, and there it was, 2024.3 was in my Avid account, and now it's actually been updated to where it's available in an Avid link now as well. So they have fixed whatever was going on there to where we have access to that. So I'm not going to, be too long. Y'all know I like to get in and get out on these things. So we're just going to go ahead and get Pro Tools, the installer, up on the screen so we can see the README, because that's basically the real thing I want to kind of go through is figure out what's new and all that kind of stuff. So let's go ahead, and I've already downloaded it, so we're just going to go ahead and open this bad boy up and see what we are dealing with. And let me know in the chat where you're watching from. Let me know where you are watching from. It's always good to know where everybody is in attendance from. Say hello, say hello. All right, so here we go. Got the installer. Let's look at the documentation here and see where, okay, let's see. Pro Tools Guide, I want the what's new. That's what we're looking for, the what's new guide. All right, here we are. The what's new. And blow this thing up. Okay, so what's new in Pro Tools version 2024.3? Let's get to it. All right, new features and enhancements. That's what we want, right? We just want to go through the new features and the enhancements. Pro Tools software version 2024.3 provides the following new features and enhancement: MIDI improvements, which include the MIDI effects plugins, MIDI signal chaining, copy and paste MIDI between Pro Tools and Sibelius. Okay, that's actually pretty dope for anybody who's doing composition and you're also using Sibelius. Now you can copy and paste between the two programs. Of course, we've always had the ability to go from one to the other, but now there's the ability to just copy and paste. So that's kind of cool. The effects plugins and signal chain, I'm going to have to look into that. I'm assuming the effects plugins is very similar to the Logic MIDI effects that they have in Logic. So we'll definitely take a look at that to see what's up. Okay, somebody chiming in here. Watching from Raleigh, North Carolina. That's what's up. That's what's up. Hope the weather's good to y'all up there. We got some nice weather today. Nice 75, and the sun is out. So it's a beautiful day here. Thanks so much for tuning in. All right, so next thing, miscellaneous new features and improvements. So this is a pretty short update. Support on Mac OS 14.3.1 Sonoma. Okay, so that's good. A lot of people have been waiting on that. And actually, this is one of the quickest turnarounds that we've had for Pro Tools being compatible with the latest Mac update. Because that was, that was around October-ish, November-ish when Sonoma came out, and usually we wait for about 6 to 7 months for that compatibility, but we already have compatibility here in the 3rd month of the year. So that's actually pretty dope. So everybody that's been asking about Sonoma compatibility, well, there you go. If you get the latest version of Pro Tools, then you have Sonoma compatibility. Detachable Melodyne ARA and clip effects tab in the edit window. Oh, this one is super dope. So you know that a while ago they added clip effects to Pro Tools, and then recently they did the Melodyne ARA, which is where you see Melodyne at the bottom of your screen and you can use it in real time. You don't have to do the whole printing it to Melodyne situation. You can just use it right there on the window. But the problem some people were having with that was the fact that it was at the bottom of your screen and it takes up the bottom of your screen. So it's a decent size chunk of the screen. As a matter of fact, while we're talking about this, let me go ahead and just install this bad boy, because we're gonna check this stuff out, because I want to show you guys this stuff in real time. So while we are talking, I am going to go ahead and hit this installer. But yeah, what happens is the whole bottom of your screen becomes either the clip effects or the Melodyne, and it takes over a large chunk of that. Excuse me, hold on one second. All right, cool. So it takes over a large chunk of that when you did that. And so now they're giving you the ability to detach those windows. So that's really dope. I like that a lot. The fact that they're going to be allowing you to detach that window, which means also for Melodyne users, when you want to blow the screen up, make it a lot bigger, you'll be able to do that. So it's going to be the same thing, like, with the MIDI effects and things like that. Not MIDI effects, but with your MIDI editor, where you can, make that bigger. So that's going to be something that's there. So I'm excited about that one. Let's see what else. Dolby Atmos improvements. Okay, they've improved something with the Dolby Atmos. We'll have to read a little further into this to figure out what exactly they improved. Video bounce with same as source enhancements. Okay, for all my post-production people that use video in Pro Tools, they've improved that. Pro Tools sketch improvements, and then Pro Tools guided tour for beginners. Okay, that's very nice. A way for people who are just getting started with Pro Tools to get some help on that, because it's always some questions about how do I do this, how do I do that, all those kind of things. So moving on, let's see if we get any more details. Okay, so here we go about all this stuff. So let me see here. So looking at the MIDI plugins. Okay, this is pretty dope. Pro Tools provide new MIDI plugin categories for inserts on instrument tracks. Okay, so if you're using an insert track, then you can use, if you're using an instrument track, you can insert these MIDI plugins. And the MIDI plugins affect track MIDI in real time on playback or live MIDI input. Okay, so that's dope. Use MIDI effects plugins to add MIDI effects such as note stacking or velocity processing to enhance parts and arrangements. MIDI effects plugins can make a sequence sound more like human performance or help you discover fresh musical and rhythmic creative ideas. Okay, cool. So let's check these out. Note stack. So looks like you'll be able to stack different notes up to 9 different notes. Oh, that's pretty substantial. Okay, cool. So let's close that out. All right. So up to 9 different notes, and you can put them at different velocities. I'm not sure what the P stands for, and I'm guessing that's the position of the actual note. We'll see here in a second what exactly they mean by that. Let's see here. Oh, here we go. Of course, they tell us right here in the guide. Keep reading, Dell. This is why we read. So notes 1 through 9, you can turn it on and off. The offset defines the number of semitones, okay, just like I thought, by which the incoming note is transposed. So basically, you'll be able to create chords and interesting things like that utilizing this. So that's pretty cool, especially for people that don't necessarily play, but you at least know how to play, one note at a time. And then you also know a little bit about theory, so you know which pitches to put with those chords, either the 3rd or the 5th or anything like that. So that's actually kind of dope that they have that in there. And what's cool is this is not only on playback. Again, this is also for input. So while you're inputting your signal, it's going to do those effects in real time. The V defines the velocity, okay, of course, and then probability. Okay, so that's what P stands for. Defines the probability of a note being triggered each time there is an incoming note. At 100%, the note always plays, while at 50%, there's a 50% chance that the note will be played. Okay, that's cool. That gives you some, some variation, and ability to make things, a little bit more customized in the playing. So that's pretty nice that they have that there. The next one that you have is pitch control, which pitch control lets you alter the pitch of incoming MIDI notes. Pitch control can be used for triggering specific notes without having to reassign MIDI notes in an electronic drum kit or other MIDI controller. For example, kick and snare are most commonly C1 and D1, but side stick, claps, and rim shot accent assignments vary among drum libraries. Pitch control can be used to trigger the sounds you want without having to edit MIDI data or reassign notes in the controller. On virtual instrument, pitch control can also be used for percussive patterns to generate different sounds based on probability. Okay, so there's that probability again. So, okay, so what this is basically your ability to change the way your MIDI controller functions with a given instrument. So for instance, like they said, kick and snare, cool. You got, C and D, and then sometimes the rim shot, may be E, or it could be E flat or D sharp. So they're saying that you can actually tell this to transpose those pitches by a certain amount, and it will trigger the proper sound. So this could be very useful in helping you in your program to be able to just reassign this kind of stuff on the fly. Basically, and another way to think about this is, like I said, transpose. Like you're basically transposing the note that you're inputting or playing. So that's pretty nice there. Pitch range, which enables only notes defined by a pitch range or process. Okay, so that's good. The type determines whether processing is applied only to the notes within the defined range or to notes outside of the defined range. Interesting. And then, of course, the range low and high. That should go without saying. Velocity range. So you can enable only the notes defined by a velocity range or process. So again, this is just stuff dealing with performance to add realism. We know, like, if you're playing keys and stuff, that the way you do velocities definitely affects the types of sounds, especially if you have instruments that have things like aftertouch, or the sound changes a little bit based on the velocity that you're hitting the key. So it's very nice that they're giving you some of these controls there. And I'm not going to read through all those. You can definitely go and look at that yourself. The next one is velocity control. So they're giving you a plugin that's specific for velocity. So this is the range when enabled. Only the notes defined by velocity range are processed. When disabled, all incoming notes are processed. Okay, cool. So again, just you got the different types and then the low and high. So basically, this is going to be useful for, like, programming drums. Again, like, because instruments can respond differently to how you hit the MIDI controller, using something like velocity control is going to help you, speed up your program. So let's say, for instance, that you want to have, the snare rim shot is triggered by, hitting that velocity at full 127. You could basically tell this thing to always play at 127. So even if you're just pity-patting on the keys or the drum pads, it's going to always be 127. And then and vice versa. If it triggers a softer sound by being lighter, even if you're kind of heavy-handed, you can tell it to always be lighter. And this is really dope. Anybody who comes from the MPC world, and you're probably already familiar with this. MPCs have had this functionality for a very long time to be able to take any hit and make the velocity change. A machine has it. Pretty sure battery has it. Any drum programming thing would have typically had the ability to control the velocity. So very dope that they have added that here. Okay, and then let's see, included third-party MIDI plugins. Avid is also pleased to provide the following MIDI plugins created by third-party development partners. These are installed with Pro Tools. So the Audio Modern Riffer 3, Modalix Eon ARP, and Pitch Innovations Groove Shaper. So if we look right over here, this is the Modern Riffer, which looks like some type of arpeggiator of sorts. Let's see the next page and see what they say. Okay, so they don't tell us what those are, so we're gonna have to dig into those individual links which are provided for you, so you can simply click there. So let's just do that, right? Since we're here, why not? Let's open that up and see what we got. All right, Riffer, the creative MIDI sequencer. All right, let's see what we got. Okay, so Riffer is a smart MIDI tool that generates musical riffs and sequences by combining pitch, duration, velocity, and density built for your sound, software, and hardware. Turn them into something of your own or let them run endlessly using the infinity mode. Okay, so basically, like I said, it's a arpeggiator, you know, mixed with some different effects, I think, that they have in here. So it's just another way of creating, you know, custom patterns and things with keyboards and MIDI instruments. And this is dope because, again, this effect is going to be able to be used on a MIDI track or instrument track. So you're playing MIDI, but you're able to use another plugin to add variations to that. And this is great because not all plugins have that ability. If you mess around with Ableton or some other instruments that have built-in arpeggiators or randomizers, then you're familiar with this kind of thing that helps you to get creative. I actually really like stuff like this, even though I'm not producing right now. When I did, produce and play around with instruments, it's very nice to have a tool like this that you can use with any instrument. So, you think about Omnisphere or any dope plugin that you love, but you also love the ability to add some randomization or customization to those particular sound sets. Now you have a plugin built into Pro Tools that is going to allow you to do that, and you can play it in. Looks like you can be able to click and do it in the step sequencer fashion. And this die up here, I'm pretty sure you're able to click on that and create all your different custom mappings or just randomized stuff. So that's really dope that they have that in here. So there's a complete overview of that. Very good. I love when companies go ahead and do a lot of content for their software, so it helps you to get in. Looks like they've got a performance mode. Okay, so that's good. So yeah, so check that out. All right, let's go to the next one and see what's there. Modellix Eon ARP. Okay, let's see here. Where's that? So again, arpeggiation. Okay. So pretty much, Pro Tools is just starting to, again, I know some people that use other DAWs gonna probably jump in here and be like, oh, we had that, we could do that in Logic, or we could do that in Reaper or whatever it is. But hey, man, we are Pro Tools users over here, so we excited about this. This is really dope. They're now expanding further on their MIDI capabilities within Pro Tools. And yes, a lot of times Pro Tools likes to work with third-party developers to do these types of things rather than having them built in. And people got different opinions on that, but I think it's dope, bringing up some of these companies, especially some of these, I've never heard of Modellix or or Audio Modern. These are two companies I never heard of. So the fact that they're even working with, you know, maybe lesser known companies to help bring them to the forefront, that's really dope. A matter of fact, you know, IK Multimedia, that's how I know about IK Multimedia, because when I first started using Pro Tools way back version 7, they had T-Rax as a bundle with Pro Tools, and from that point on, I've been a fan of IK Multimedia. I still use their plugins to this day, and so I really like that they're doing this. And again, they're bringing up the MIDI in Pro Tools, allowing you to get more creative and have more tools that, again, we know that other DAWs may or may not have built in, or different VSTs that people are used to. And I just got to reiterate the fact that right now we're looking at the new effects for instrument tracks. So these are not just instruments that you know get to be able to use by themselves. Excuse me. You can use these with any of your existing virtual instruments. So even if you have a synth that you love that doesn't have a built-in arpeggiator, here you go. You've got this art plugin that does that, or the Riffer from Audio Modern. I think these are two different implementations of a very similar thing. We'd have to mess around with them to really figure that out, but just based on the videos I've watched and kind of just glancing here at the details, then that's exactly what it looks like. It looks like they're just, you know, different variations of the same thing, more or less, and they're going to have different features, of course. And then this very last one, Pitch Innovations Groove Shaper Lite. The name itself pretty much gives me an idea of what this is. One-of-a-kind creative sequencer for instant rhythms. Generate captivating hi-hats, bass line, short string motifs, and more. Let's see the trailer. Hold on, I gotta go back. Hold on. Whoa. Okay, hold up. Let's go back here. What are we looking at here? Okay, so right here. Okay, so they're in, I can't tell what application it is. I don't know if it's Splice or something. Yes, sorry. Okay, search Splice. So they're in Splice. They take a sound from Splice, and then they drug it in and sampled it directly from Splice. That's pretty dope. Okay, and then you can drag and drop MIDI sequences. Yo, that's pretty fire. And again, there we go with that magic dice. Basically, it's just another way of randomizing sounds and getting different creative ideas from the software. Again, you're able to do this with any existing virtual instruments already. This is dope. And you can even see in the background here, they're kind of showing off some other instruments that we know they may or may not have some of these features built in. So really cool stuff there. Really cool. I'm excited for everybody who's producing in Pro Tools or thinking about producing in Pro Tools. We also got to consider all the new people that's getting into the game that may jump into Pro Tools. The fact that they're starting to look at the MIDI side a little bit more and bringing some newer things to it. I'm definitely happy to see them doing that. This is really dope. So those are your third-party MIDI plugins that are included. And I'm assuming that this is going to be something that becomes another way for developers to develop plugins, to be able to bring in some third-party MIDI type plugins to use on instrument tracks. Now that this is a new version of MIDI implementation in Pro Tools, I'm sure some developers are probably looking to jump on that and get on that train. Cool. All right, so let's move on. MIDI signal flow improvements. Pro Tools lets you route MIDI from the MIDI input of an instrument track to any plugins on the track with MIDI ports, such as MIDI plugins, virtual instruments, or audio plugins with MIDI CC. MIDI can be routed to individual plugins or to a MIDI chain that consists of a series of compatible plugins or consecutive insert slots on an instrument track. Okay, so we're able to now start creating basically plug-in chains of effects for MIDI stuff. So this is pretty dope. Okay, so that's very, very nice there. And you can see here it shows you what the chain is, inserts in that particular chain that you bring up. All right, let me just read this because I think it's important to go ahead and say this out loud. An instrument track change lets MIDI data pass sequentially top to bottom through the MIDI compatible plugins on an instrument track. So keep that in mind. It's an instrument track. A MIDI chain is essentially virtual MIDI through for virtual MIDI devices on individual instrument tracks. MIDI outs from instrument and MIDI tracks can be assigned to an instrument's tracks, MIDI chain in, MIDI inputs for instrument and MIDI tracks can be assigned to an instrument's track. MIDI chain out, MIDI chains let you control all compatible plugins on an instrument track from a single MIDI stream. This can be useful for live performance and MIDI recording. For example, playing a virtual electric piano on insert A and controlling a wah-wah pedal effect plugin on insert B. Okay, cool. So yeah, just bringing some of the same routing capabilities we have with audio to MIDI, being able to go in and out of different channels and use different chains and being triggered by other things. So that's really dope. Again, they're expanding the MIDI capabilities. We can see MIDI chain out. We're just showing that there. And then also the MIDI targets. So where it's going to based on the channel that you assign. And then there's that copy and paste between Pro Tools and Sibelius we talked about. And there's that floating windows for the Melodyne. Look at that. That's nice. It's real nice. Separate window instead of being down there at the bottom. And we talked about that earlier. The original implementation was they were only available down here, but now you can see they have open and close window icons. And I would imagine in typical Pro Tools fashion, there may be shortcut keys for that. And if there isn't already shortcut keys for that, guess what you can do? You can customize your own keyboard shortcuts. Yes, you can. Pro Tools does have that ability now to do your own custom shortcut. So even if that's not already there, I'm pretty sure that will be an option for you to do that on your own. Okay. Dolby Atmos improvements, the ADM file metadata on import. Okay, so basically they're just updating how the metadata comes in from an ADM file, which is going to be good. Then also subpaths. Pro Tools lets you create subpaths for Dolby Atmos beds. Objects are only stereo, mono, and do not support custom subpaths. Okay, so this is only for your beds. Stock and custom re-renders, excuse me. Okay, so Pro Tools offers two stock re-render options, loudness and headphones. These are exclusively for routing audio back into session for monitoring. So basically, if you're monitoring the binaural or something, a louder version or something like that, then you can monitor those. And so they're explaining these to us to be routed to a track with a loudness metering plugin. Cool. So the loudness re-render can be figured as 5.1 or 2.0 on the Dolby Atmos tab in the I/O setup. And then your headphone re-render to be sent to headphones through an output different from your main monitors. The headphone re-render can be configured as binaural or 2.0 on Dolby Atmos tab of the I/O setup. Very good. Some further expansion of the Atmos. Let me check my comments, make sure anybody's not saying anything. Is this mainly an update to MIDI only? No. If you see there, we've got Atmos improvement there. And there's also, just go back here really quickly. You've got the Melodyne and clip effects windows, the video bounce with same source enhancement, sketch, and the guided tour for beginners. So we're almost getting to those parts of the guide here. So there's your custom re-render stuff right there. No worries, man. No worries. I'm glad you're here. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for tuning in. All right. So your video bounce, same as source enhancement. Let me take a drink of water. Okay. So your video bounce, the same as source. Pro Tools is going to let you bounce H.264 using same as source if blank space is included in the selection past the end of the clip. Note that the entire file must be included in the timeline selection and only one file can be selected at a time. So they're just enhancing, you know, some of the things that people have said about the same as source bouncing in Pro Tools. Embedded sketch documents in Pro Tools session files. This is going to be for Windows only. Okay, so dashboard. Pro Tools now includes a new option in the dashboard to create and embed a new sketch document in an open session. Save in session folder. This also pins the new sketch to the open session. And they said this is Windows only, so I'm wondering if this already existed on Mac. I don't use Sketch, so not 100% sure on that exactly, but we can see right there, save copy in, and there's your current sketch right there. Okay, boom. Same thing, drag and drops improvements for Windows only. When drag and drop MIDI clip from the sketch window to an instrument or MIDI track in the edit window, the clip remains as MIDI data. Conversely, Pro Tools renders the entire signal chain for MIDI clips being dragged into the sketch window from the edit window. When dragging and dropping an audio clip into the sketch window from the edit window, it is also rendered to include any clip gain, clip effects, elastic audio, fades, and plug-in processing. Cool. Also, when dragging and dropping a clip from the sketch window to the edit window to create a new track, the sketch mixer settings, volume, pan, mute, and solo are used for the new track in the session. Okay, that's cool. So basically, you know, anytime you drag and drop something from the sketch window, it's bringing over all of the data that you probably want. Like, again, if you did some panning or soloing and muting, some automation type things, any effects that you use, it's going to bring that stuff over when it's rendered and you bring it down to the edit window. So that's pretty awesome. And, you know, I mean, that's honestly something that people would have expected it to do from the jump. So glad to see that they have put that in there. And then now there's a guided tour. So many apps have this already. Pro Tools is just now putting this in there for themselves. You can revisit the guided tour at any time from the help menu in Pro Tools. Help launch guided tour. So basically, the first time you launch Pro Tools, you are presented with a dashboard for creating and opening sessions, projects, and sketches. Yes, we know that if we're already using it. You're also presented with the opportunity to take a guided tour of Pro Tools with the included demo session. This provides a quick and easy way of how to use Pro Tools that highlights elements of the user interface with information about the what and why of each. Once you have taken the guided tour, it will not present itself again. However, you can revisit the guided tour at any time from the help menu. I don't need to go through that, but it would kind of be nice to do it just to see what they're showing people, because if it's a really good guided tour, it's awesome to be able to tell people now when they ask you about, I'm trying to learn Pro Tools, hey, just go check out the guided tour. Just watch that and there'll be no more questions for me. So I'm actually gonna go through that myself just to see what it is. It's like it's only 12 steps here, so it's not even that lengthy. So we'll definitely look into that at another time, or today we might. Okay, that's the end of the update guide. So we went through everything. So longer than I thought it was, but definitely not as big as some other updates in the past. So that is that. Let's see if I got any more. Stay hydrated. That's right, man. Gotta stay hydrated. That's right. Get that water. Get that water in you. Especially me as a coffee drinker. I know coffee is in my blood, so I try to do a really good job of drinking the same amount of water as I do coffee. My ratios of intake. All right, so let's do a couple of things here, since there's a couple of things here that I feel like we can show easily, like the Melodyne window, as well as the clip effects, being able to detach that. That's actually going to be really dope. I use clip effects a lot. So it'll kind of be really dope to see that new implementation. And since we're already live, let's just go ahead and show it to you guys at the same time, right? All right, so I installed this already. Now, one thing about me, if you have never watched any of my lives, specifically about Pro Tools, then I usually have multiple versions installed. And this time, I did not rename my Pro Tools because I was, I don't remember why I didn't do it, but I didn't do it this time either. So this Pro Tools right here is going to be the current version. Then I also have 2023.6 and 2023.3 installed. And, you know, if something goes wrong with this particular version, and again, this is Mac only, but if something goes wrong with this version for whatever reason, then I will reinstall 2023.12. Point 1 had some weird things going on both of my computers. So I wasn't using it. I was using just the 12, not the 0.1 version. But all you have to do, let me just show you that since we're talking about it. If you just go to your Finder and let's get that out the way and open up a new Finder window, Applications. You go to Pro Tools. So you go to your Pro Tools and you simply just hit enter, which will allow you to rename that. So, you know, if I was doing this, I would do 2024.3. And then it's going to ask me to verify that I actually want to do that. What is this? Cool. So now I have 2024.3 up there, and then I would do one of these guys, remove it from the dock, and then put it back just so visually I can see that. Uh-oh. There we go. All right. Now, one thing for my particular setup that just killed was my button for SoundFlow. It just killed that button because that button is programmed to open Pro Tools, not Pro Tools 2024.3. But that's an easy fix, and this is a great insert for anybody who's using SoundFlow or kind of trying to figure out if it's worth using and how easy it is to use. So I'm just going to show you that right here, right now, while we're live. So I'm going to go ahead and open up SoundFlow, and we are going to go to my default package, which, nope, it is, where is that actually? Let's see here, Finder Deck, okay. Yep, that's my Finder Deck. So I'm gonna go to Pro Tools right here, all right. And you can see right here, the launch application is set to launch Pro Tools, but that's not what I want. I want it to launch 2023.4, which is not showing because that is a recent install. And so what I'm going to do here is actually restart this bad boy so it can pick up on that stuff, and I might even have to close it actually. Yeah. Okay, yep. So we're gonna quit SoundFlow. Just gonna quit it all together and do a complete restart of SoundFlow. Check my comments while we're here. All right, nobody's saying anything. Cool, cool, cool. All right, so SoundFlow is open. And now, when I open SoundFlow, oh, I gotta log in. What in the world is going on with that? Fun times. All right, give me 1 second. Let me do this right here. Gotta pull up my stuff. All right. Looks like we are all logged in there. Oh. Oh, look at that. See, we live. Things are happening. launch SoundFlow again. You know what? Let me make sure it's not on this computer over here, because if you try to log in multiple places, it will shut you down. Okay, so that's not the case. All right, there we go. Cool. We're open. Okay. Let's see here. Ew. Okay. SoundFlow, what is going on? Look at that. You try to do something live and things break. Welcome to the life of an audio engineer, where half your day is spent troubleshooting. All right, so let me check something on SoundFlow's website, because for whatever reason, SoundFlow likes to do updates that don't show up the way that they should. So just to be sure I'm on the latest version, I am going to log in on the site. .6.1. Nope. I'm on version 5.5.4, and it did not tell me that the update was there. So just for the sake of having documentation of this, let me put this up on the screen, because next time I talk to SoundFlow, I can reference this video. So right here at the bottom, you're supposed to click this to check for updates, right? I click it. There were no new updates found. However, when I go over to my account here for SoundFlow, you can see that it says SoundFlow 5.6.1. That is a new version, right? So why isn't it available for me to download from here like you're supposed to be able to? Fix it, SoundFlow. All right, off the soapbox. Download that. Cool. Which means I'm gonna quit this bad boy. All right, and gotta love it, right? When we live, things just happen. Things just go down. What y'all working on today? While we waiting on this to download, what y'all got going on? What is everybody working on? Let me change my camera over here so y'all can talk to the people. What's everybody working on? What y'all got popping over there? Dialogue editing, sound design, working on some music. What is it? Let me know. Let me know in the comments while I get this installation going over here. And these types of updates aren't for everybody. I know some people like to keep their systems back several versions and all that kind of stuff, but I live on the edge, and I beta test a lot of things, so I'm not really afraid of updates like that. Most of the time they don't break anything. I do have a backup of my system at a certain state though, so if for whatever reason something did completely jack everything up, then I can easily go back, so it's not the end of the world for me over here. All right, SoundFlow is installed. Yes, is it? No. Okay, maybe it is. I'm not going to update my HD driver just yet. All right, turn on SoundFlow. Open SoundFlow now. Yes. All right, SoundFlow is launching. Just noticed, same with my SoundFlow. Yeah, man. Weird, right? It just randomly is knocked out, like all of a sudden, and it was literally working 5 minutes ago. So something weird just happened on their end, and this whole update thing is not working in the way that it should, and it's slightly annoying. So let me Hopefully we don't have to do a restart on anything, because that would just be very, very lame to have to do a restart live. But it is live, so that's what we're here for. And the beautiful thing about how I do my lives is that my live won't go down because I am live streaming directly from my A10 Mini. So I don't even need the computer technically for my stream. I'm only using the computer because you guys are chatting with me so I can see your comments, but I am not streaming from the computer itself. Okay, sound flow. Let's see. Let's try this again. Okay, so now SoundFlow isn't even launching. So you know what? We're gonna do this right now, right here, live. Restart the computer. So let's restart that, which also means my screen may or may not be connected when I come back on, but that's fine. I know how to reset that very quickly. So let's chat for a second. What you got? What y'all got going on? What is everybody into today? I have exported a mix that got approved for a record, and also exported performance tracks and some stems for a EP that was that record that got approved. That was the last record on the EP, so that was me exporting all of that stuff. And then I printed a mix. I did say that I printed a mix that got approved for mastering. And now I'm live with you guys talking about Pro Tools update. And then once I'm done here, I need to do a prep on a mix, a music mix. Somebody sent me another track for an album I'm working on. We've got 2 songs already done on the album. They sent me the 3rd song, so we're gonna get that one prepped for mixing. This is one of those times where I'm doing the prep work myself because I got the time to do it, so no reason to let the assistants do it. I'll do it myself. All right, let's get logged in over here. Okay. Ooh, okay. That's interesting. Learning the Atmos internal renderer and workflows. That is definitely fun times. Hope that's going well for you. I haven't even looked into that yet because the things that I've heard that are missing from it are things for you and I's line of work in audio post-production that matter. I know like the ability to do destructive punch, like punching into your mix and your stems is not available with the internal renderer. So that's a problem. And then also the export. I don't think you can export the files, the right files if you're submitting for post-production stuff. I think music ADMs is fine coming out of it, but I know that you can't export the right master Adobe file from the internal renderer. So that is a problem for people that need to do that workflow. Excuse me. For everybody else, hey, great, use it. All right, let's see. Where is my mouse? It's over here. Okay. But I need it to go. Okay. So restarting my computer also tampered with my connection here. No problem. Cool. All right. So SoundFlow, if it is on, if I go to my Finder, it pops up. Cool. So my Stream Deck is now populated the way that it should be. If I open SoundFlow, it opens. Okay, very good. Cool. So back to where we were. Get my screen back on for you guys. And voila. Okay. Cool. All right. So back to what we were doing. We're going to go to the launch application. And if we scroll down here to the P section, we should hopefully find Pro Tools 2024.3. Cool. So now that that's there, what that means for me is when I hit my Pro Tools button on my Stream Deck, Pro Tools should launch. Let's try it. All right, hit the button. And I just saw the blink. Yep, okay, here we go. So Pro Tools did launch and is launching. So very good, that worked. Okay, so my man Johnny says this update was supposed to add that. Just download it and update it now. I'll let you know how it goes. Cool. Yeah, please do let me know. That would be good. I didn't see that in the docs though. Like that's interesting because it didn't say that specifically on the update. Let's see. I'll go back into this guy and we go to Dolby Atmos improvements. Okay, so let's read this again. Shows the following information in the import session data log dialog when importing an ADM. So that's when you're importing an ADM file. So it's all the stuff that it's going to show you. And then you can create subpaths for Dolby Atmos beds, stock and custom re-renders for session monitoring. So this is for monitoring. Stock re-renders cannot be accessed in the bounce mix window. So you can't do those 2.0 re-renders. They follow the mute state in the Dolby Atmos renderer window. They also require very low CPU overheads unless binaural processing is engaged for headphone re-render. These re-render options follow the hardware buffer size, so you get lower latency monitoring if needed. This means the binaural processing is disabled at lower buffer sizes. Okay, cool. Custom re-renders. The custom re-renders can be used to route audio back into the session or for bouncing to disk. Okay, maybe this is it. Custom re-renders let you configure a copy of the mix for any format supported for monitoring Dolby Atmos within Pro Tools. You can also filter out elements of the mix by group, bed, or object. Note that while there is no hard limit for the number of custom re-renders, you can create the more live re-render streams. The more CPU resources will be used. Okay, so if you're doing live re-renders, CPU usage, okay, of course. To ensure optimal performance, custom re-renders can always run at the highest possible hardware buffer size supported by the selected playback engine, regardless of the actual hardware buffer size selected in the playback engine. If you require lower latency, you can use the stock re-renders at a lower hardware buffer size. Since custom re-renders are always running at the highest possible hardware buffer size, you can keep using binaural processing when the actual hardware buffer size selected in the playback engine is lower. Okay, so there's also the live re-renders are suspended when using the external Dolby Atmos renderer, but custom re-render configurations remain accessible for bounce to mix. Okay, so just reading that, it seems like there's going to be some trial and error people are going to have to go through because of if you are still to talk about the punching. If you're punching into those re-renders and there's latency on the buffer, then that's no good because that still makes that useless if you need that. Why is this popping up? Is my trial over on that? Maybe so. I'll deal with that later. Okay, so your re-renders, your MIDI, DX, music bin, Okay, so that's interesting. So maybe you're right. Maybe you can now bounce your re-renders, but the punching in is still the question mark if that is going to be something that we can do or not do. That is the question. Ooh, okay. So the plugin runner quit, but Pro Tools didn't stop uploading. Okay, so that's good. So it's still launching. That's good. All right, no issues there. Great afternoon, everyone. Dale, which OS are you running? I am currently running Ventura. So this Pro Tools update is compatible with Sonoma. So that is a part of the update. This is Sonoma compatible, but I am still running Ventura 13.4 point something. I'm not 100% sure what that extra point is, but I'm still on Ventura. I have not yet updated to Sonoma. And honestly, I don't have a reason to update to Sonoma. There's no feature I can think of that's Sonoma exclusive that I need to update for. Yeah, Ventura, I wanted the ability to use my mouse and my keyboard on both my desktop and my laptop. So that was important to do that for that. But other than that, there isn't a need to do that. So yeah, I'm still back. All right, let's see here. Pro Tools, is it open yet? Nope, still launching. Okay. It's doing the old plug-in scan and all that good stuff. And let's just check. Oh, it says Pro Tools not responding. Uh-oh, that's not good. Live. Agree. Staying put with Ventura. Yeah, man. I mean, there's just really no. I can't see any reason. I haven't heard of any feature that Sonoma has that would make me want to update to that right now. Okay, so Pro Tools quit on launch. Interesting. We'll look into that. View control. Okay. No, I need this one. All right, let's try launching Pro Tools again. I'm not worried. I'm not worried yet because that's the first launch. First launch is always going to be a little wonky. It's trying to read all your plugins, figure out what things at, all that kind of stuff. So not too worried about it. If it happens again, then we worry a little bit. Okay. Oh yeah, the other thing I didn't update was my HD driver. That could create a problem, possibly, but I'm at least 2 versions back on my HD driver. I know, because I didn't do the last one because I heard that there were some issues with it, so I didn't do it. And I typically don't update my HD driver unless they say, yeah, you have to update your HD driver. Unless they say those specific words, I usually don't, because once it's one of those things. If it's working, it's working. There's no need to mess that up. All right, so yeah, you can see there it's, going through plugins, 23 of 134, which isn't that many. I know lots of people have way more plugins than I do. One thing I did when I upgraded computers was specifically install what I absolutely knew I needed and that I used on a regular basis. So there's a lot of stuff that I may even own that I haven't installed just because I don't really use it. So I didn't want it taking up space and creating issues for me. And then also, because I'm not, actively producing and making tracks or even playing instruments like that, I don't have any of my virtual instruments installed on this computer. None whatsoever. I think the only one that is installed is Contact, and Contact is only Contact. It doesn't have any other modules except the Edward Foley library. So I use that Edward Foley library when I need to do some Foley footsteps and cloth type sounds, and I don't have a Foley artist on a project. But other than that, no instruments on this machine. Just don't do it. Okay, so this is interesting. It's hung up here on the voice changer. So I do like when these things happen because, again, troubleshooting is a part of our job, and I like to be able to show these things in real time because one thing that I've said numerous times is that many of the things that we know how to do, and that I'm here for, is that there's no way for in a school environment for me to teach you this. Like, these are things that just happen on a day-to-day basis, and you don't necessarily learn them any other way than just being in the trenches. So knowing all the little things of how to get around something like this. So right now it's stuck on the voice changer AAX plugin and it's spinning, which lets me know it's thinking about something, and Pro Tools is not responding. So it's hung up for some reason on that specific plugin. So when you pay attention to this, what you can actually do is go into your plugins folder and move that plugin to the unused folder, and to see if that will get past this stage for you. And then if you need that plugin, you can always move it back to the folder, and hopefully it will launch the second time you try to launch it. So I am going to force quit this. And we are going to navigate to our plugins. Actually, no, it's not there. It is. Oh, maybe not. There we go. Okay. Oh, still not that one. Where did you guys move to? No, it's not that. No way. Uh-huh. Interesting. Okay, hold up. Let me do this. All right, here we go. So that was your Macintosh hard drive, library, application support, Avid, and then audio. And so now we're going to go into our plugins. And that was the voice changer, right? Yep, voice changer AAX right there. Cool. And actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this up this way, because now I can take it and move it to the plugins unused folder. And so now that it's in that folder, when Pro Tools launches, it's no longer going to try to open that plugin, because that plugin is now removed from this list of current plugins. Another thing I could have used this to test for was the fact that they said that in a couple of versions back, that the new way it loaded plugins was that it would go to the last spot you were at instead of trying to load everything again. But I just went on ahead and killed it, because I don't use that plugin. All right, so you can see there, it didn't do what they said it did, because that just started over from the beginning. That literally just went all the way back to plugin number 1 instead of going to plugin 53 to start over. So that is a bug that needs to be mentioned. I will make sure I remember to do that, because it is not supposed to do that. That is not the functionality that they built in the last couple versions. They literally, that was a big deal that they said that it would no longer do this. But we can see clearly here that it is doing it. All right, let me just see who's in here. Let's see. Okay. Okay. That's interesting. All right, so we got up to 90. Okay, yep, there we go. We're cooking. I quite like that plugin, so I think I'm gonna get it. It helped me with some ADR, getting some lines to match the way it did the EQ matching. I actually kind of like that, so I think I am gonna go ahead and hit my guys up over at Ascentize and tell them, hey, I need that. Cool. And for the sake of this particular demo, I am going to open up a session that we can't ruin, so to speak. Let's see here. Nope, wrong drive. This one. Okay, yeah, this is cool. All right, so now we're about to see what these new updates are really talking about. We're about to see. We about to find out what they hitting on for real, for real. All right, there we go. Got my mouse back over there. Sweet. All right, so the things that I'm particularly looking at right now is just going to be to show off this Melodyne and Clip Effects, the windows, being able to be floating windows now, because those are the only two things that I would really use out of this. You know, again, the MIDI stuff, I don't do MIDI right now, so that's not here for me. I'm sure there'll be other videos talking about that stuff, so we're not going to waste time on that. The MIDI effects. All right, this session is taking its precious little time. Backup complete. That's my daily backup that happens at the same time every day, like clockwork, so I don't have to remember to do it. The system does it on its own. Set those types of things up for yourself. I promise you, it'll help you keep your stuff where it needs to be. And we don't need to do that. And here, okay, here's something that when you talk about, they've already mentioned this. Eddie over at Avid Yukon department mentioned this, that the Yukon update hasn't updated at the same time as Pro Tools. So these two versions are compatible, but they're not the same. But what we need to do is go into our UControl settings and go into applications, and where it says Pro Tools 23 Mac, I need to add Pro Tools 24 and remove 23. And so now my controller is active. Cool. And this guy was done on site somewhere. What is... All right, let's see what kind of audio situations we got running here. Why is that not popping up? Okay, yep, UControl is open over here, so I need to close that over there. And now I should get my surface back. Hello all, what's up, Benny? How you doing, man? Good to see you, man. Glad you joined in. You're a little late, but you're here, man. I'm glad you're here. New Pro Tools update. I can already see the one thing that we were looking to check out here. Thank you so much. This shirt is actually from my barber. He's got a clothing line, crispy crispy brand, the crispy brand. I don't know if you can see that there. Let me see. Let me, you know, go to this bad boy over here maybe. The crispy brand. Yeah, great stuff, man. I love his stuff. All right, so let's jump over here. Pro Tools. So Melodyne and Clip Effects. So here's a Clip Effects. So normally to open Clip Effects, I would just do Option 6 on my keyboard to open that up. But now this window, instead of being down here in the way for some people, it could be resized, I think. Nope, Clip Effects stays the same size. But now we can click this little button and it is detached, and I can move it over here to my other screen. I can put it up on top. So it always stays on top. So there's an option to keep it on top. Okay. And then if you hit the button again, it goes back down to the bottom. So I wonder if I detach it, if I hit, okay, so hitting Option 6 is still going to put it down at the bottom. So even if I move it to my other screen and I forget it's over there, but I just go to my normal Option 6, it's gonna jump it right back down there. And then with the Melodyne implementation, let's just grab this small little section right here. And I do not remember this shortcut because I don't use it that often. So let's see here. Track, Melodyne, edit. Okay, so this one can be resized. Okay, so here's your Melodyne window that you can resize for what you need it to be. Okay, so it's detecting that audio. And that's a much longer range than I thought it was, probably. Yeah, man. Yeah, it is a great feature. I do like it as well, man. It definitely seems to be cool, especially this Melodyne one. I can't wait till this one pops up because I really want to see this one outside of here because this was I didn't necessarily have an issue with it. I know other people did, but as soon as people started talking about it, I was like, you know what? That actually is something that would be nice. So right now, or previously before today, this is how the Melodyne implementation was. It was always at the bottom of your screen. You could resize this, but this is how you worked with it. Of course, you could, you know, do your zoom in and zoom out kind of stuff there, but it still wasn't as good as being able to do this. And now, if I'm not gonna do full screen because that's gonna take over my entire computer, but now I can open this big and really get in here and make the, yeah, that's nice. And of course, I can move it over here to my second screen if you can't see. But this would be good if I'm doing like a mixed review type thing with the client, or I'm doing some live vocal type stuff to where I need to deal with Melodyne, but they need to see Pro Tools. Then I can have Melodyne over here working on this, and then Pro Tools is here. Very nice. Or actually, I may have a session with one of my regulars tonight, and he actually likes to look at Melodyne while we're working. So it'd actually be dope to have Melodyne over here on this screen, that he can just see that and not be breathing over my shoulder here. He can just look over there. I can give him a chair to sit over on the right side, and he can look at it over there. That's really nice, and that's out of the way. So that's actually really cool that they did that. And of course, again, you have the same options to keep window on top or to bring it back down to the bottom. Okay, that's a little slow. Ooh, interesting. So opening that. Okay, so there it is. Cool. All right, so that's cool. And of course, the MIDI editor is still down there, and that's always been able to be taken off of here. So that's really cool. I like that. Let me see what other updates were specific to something that I would want to show right now. Let's see. Yeah, that's it. Again, support for Sonoma, Atmos improvements, the bounce the same as source, because yeah. Oh, the guided tour. We didn't look at that. It probably wouldn't even show me that. Session guided tour. So learn the basics of Pro Tools through a guided tour of the demo session. And then there's, of course, the getting started with Pro Tools. So yeah, you got your session guided tour, sketch guided tour, and then also the Dolby Atmos guided tour. So again, just very helpful stuff for people getting started with Pro Tools. In that I think, you know, it's good because a lot of us that are regulars, we get asked these questions all the time about how to use Pro Tools and, you know, people their first steps. And it's nice to just be able to say, hey, open your Pro Tools, go to the dashboard, click on the guided tour, just start there, and you'll learn everything you need to learn. And then once you get to the more advanced stuff, then you can contact me. But other than that, Pro Tools has got you covered, built in. So yeah, that is the update. That is everything from Avid for today on the update. Let's see. That's great. Probably should have been implemented at the start, but Avid has to leave something to upgrade and justify their subscription model. Yeah, man. We know all of the things about them and keeping this subscription model open. However, I will say, since them going back to being private instead of public, it seems to be a little better now. You know, again, like one that stands out to me, like for instance, today is the fact that we have Sonoma support now. In the past, we would have been waiting until about summertime to see support for the latest Mac OS, and here we are, the third month of the year, already getting that support. So that's pretty quick for Avid, especially over the past few years. This is the quickest I've seen them turn around a Mac OS update. So I hope this keeps up for sure. Definitely a welcome improvement indeed. Yeah, so I got nothing else on this live stream. I gotta get ready for this. I need to start prepping this mix, and there is something that I needed to do. Oh, there's another video I need to make. So there's a video I need to make for somebody in a group chat. We were talking about layered editing, and since we're here, I'm gonna do it now, and then I'll just clip it for that video. You like that, right? That's a little content creation stuff for you of how we're able to do stuff. So layered editing. I'm in a group, post-production engineers, and somebody was talking about layered editing and something that they discovered about it and how they used it. And I mentioned that I use it a lot for dialogue editing because it allows me to see words and things where they go when I'm editing. And so let me show you what I meant by that. So this little thing up here is where you turn on layered editing. And what layered editing does, I am going to just cut, let's just say, this word right here. All right, hit B, break that. And now, when I have layered editing on, and I move this clip, look how it becomes kind of translucent, and I can see through it. So this is what I was talking about. If I need to replace a word or a syllable, I can literally see exactly where I need to drop it before I make my edit. Look at that. Like, that is beautiful, being able to do that. So if this was a word that I was replacing, knowing for a fact that that's where I need to drop it to is essential to my workflow. Of course, I could always have a separate edit track, you know, so I could just do a duplicate really quickly on this. Let me just turn all this off. I don't need any of that stuff on. Just do a duplicate. I could just as easily, for instance, have, you know, this down here on a different track. Why are you locked? I hate when that happens. I don't know why I accidentally hit that key all the time. But yeah, so I could easily do that, have the clip on a different, you know, edit track and be able to, you know, take it and line it up according to the top track. But it's a little bit more refined for me to be able to do this and like see it on top of it. Like, I mean, look at that. That is money right there. Like, who wouldn't want to use that? Like, if I dropped it here, nope, that's not right. All right, boom. Now we're perfect. Like, look at that. Like that layered editing is that's why I use layered editing. Dialogue editing, vocal editing, drum replacement, same thing for drums. If I was doing, you know, a drum, so if I went down here, for instance, and I've got my bass drum, and I don't like this particular hit, and I want to replace this hit. So I could literally say, all right, cool. So I'm going to break that apart because I want to make a marker for that, and I'd go through and find another kick that I liked better than the other kick. Oh, that's a good kick right there. Cool, no problem. All right, I like that kick. All right, let's take it, and because I'm using the cut grabber, I can option grab, and it makes a copy for me, and now I can move that. Oh, hold up. Trying to zoom at the same time. Fun. All right, so now that I've got that, just turn my dock on, right? And now I can move this and get it to where it's supposed to be. And even when I drop it, it's now in that spot. So I can go back, grab that piece again, move it over, get close, zoom in. All right, let's see. Where are we supposed to be at? Right there. Cool. All right, there it is. Again, I don't know why anybody wouldn't like that feature. That's a great usage of layered editing, in my opinion. So that's that. All right. What else we got? Any more content that I needed to do for today? Like, this is, again, I'm letting you guys in on just a couple of other things extra since we're here. This is how I create content. Doing these live streams, having conversations with people. When things just pop up, I just record them. This is how I answer questions. People ask me questions about how to do something, and I answer it in video form. And the reason I do it is the same reason why many of you are following me, is because you find my reels, you find my shorts, you find my videos, you find all this stuff that I'm doing, and most of it comes from just day to day, me sitting here doing what I do. Either I notice something that would be interesting to share, or somebody asks me something that would be interesting to share, and I just do it in a video format, and then I chop it up later. Literally, this whole video that I've done, this whole live stream, you're going to see it again. It's going to be repurposed. I'm going to go through and either myself or have one of these AI tools go through and find all the clips, all the good stuff for me. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, all this, the section I talked about the MIDI, the section I talked about the Dolby Atmos implementation, me showing off the new clip effects in Melodyne floating windows. Those will all be their own small, short, independent reels that I can repurpose for all the different platforms that come from this live stream. That's literally me making content for social media based on this whole thing. Again, this is a trick that a lot of people use. All those podcast clips you see, that's what they're doing. It's literally they record that entire podcast and then they chop it up into bits. Like, I've been on certain podcasts to where we'll stream the podcast live, but the actual episodes never get published. All we do is take clips from those episodes and use them for other things. And so the whole point of it necessarily wasn't even to do to have a podcast that was a published podcast. It was for the clips that we could take from that, because we all know that short video now is the thing. And then the other side of that is there's tons of tools available now. Like, for instance, I could take this entire live stream, I can drop it into DaVinci Resolve, and it will transcribe it. Guess what that transcription does for me? Now I have word posts to use on Facebook, to use on LinkedIn, wherever. Like, it's just all a bunch of different ways you can create tons and tons of content for yourself, and you make it easy. Like, find a way to make content creation easy. Y'all know I've been saying that for years. Like, these cameras are always in here. They're always on. I can walk in at any given point and do a video on anything. If you got a phone, You can do videos with your phone. This thing is crispy. I know everybody talk about how good this looks. They're like, oh, it looks like a movie, Dale. This is so beautiful. It's pretty. Yada, yada, yada. This angle, a lot of people love this angle right here. They felt like they're watching a movie. It's cinematic. But hey, you don't need this. This is nice to have. You don't need it. This guy right here is just as good as that. You throw up a couple of lights and you got beautiful image quality right here in your phone. And this is, of course, an iPhone, but it doesn't have to be an iPhone. Samsungs have good cameras as well. So it's 2024, guys. There's no excuse for content creation. If you said this year you were going to create more content, start creating more content today. Don't wait for the money to buy a camera. Don't wait for likes. Don't wait for anything. Y'all go back on my channels and y'all watch some of my videos, man. They look like trash. I mean, some of my first sets of drum videos literally were recorded on a laptop. The MacBook Pro, my 2007 MacBook Pro from college, I would set it up on a chair and I would do drum videos from the laptop. Audio too. Like I wasn't even, the first sets of videos, I don't even think I was recording the audio back into Pro Tools and then syncing it up to the video. Maybe I was, but I'm sure there's a couple of them. But yeah, I was using the camera built into the laptop. So again, 2024, you have something available to you that you can start making content for yourself. For the past 2 days, I've been live streaming my entire day. Yesterday I did 6 hours. This morning I did about 3 hours. And I'll probably do a few more hours after I get off of here with you. And those live streams, I'm not even talking as much. I'm literally just working. And there's a 90% of it is actually muted. But people are able to just come in and watch me work. They see me dialogue editing. They see me tuning vocal. They see me doing whatever I'm doing at the time. And they can ask me a question about that or just any random question that they have. And it's there. And then again, repurpose. Some of this stuff that I'm doing is literally because I'm thinking about the repurposing of it for other things. Hold up. Game changing. Yeah, man, that's what I'm here to do, man. I'm here to help people change the game, man. I'm here to open eyes and let y'all see a different way of looking at these things and the way I figured it out. Because you see your Gary V's, you see, your Alex Hermos, you see all them, and they talk about content, and that you need to be doing, 25 pieces of content a day on all the major platforms. And that sounds very daunting. And it is. It is daunting to do that much content. However, there are ways to do it and make it efficient for yourself. So the camera thing, I've been doing this for 3 years now, having just cameras up. If you want to do that, get yourself some affordable cameras. They don't need to be super crispy. Anything that was made from 2007 on, I would say is pretty decent. Maybe go 2010. You can go back a little bit. You can go a little close because we're in 2024 now. So anything that's HD quality, if you want to go up 4K, you can. Matter of fact, I started with a Panasonic G7. That was a 4K camera. You plug that thing up to a cam link, a little USB dongle that takes HDMI, and you can plug it into your computer. There you go. You got something. I have an ATEM Mini. You don't need an ATEM Mini. It has some nice features to it, but it is not the thing you need. If you want a camera, get yourself a camera. Get a power supply for that camera so it's not running off of batteries. It's just plugged into the wall. That's how these things just stay on. They are literally plugged in to the wall. They're on. They're just always on, always running. Any time of day, hit record, make my videos. You can do the same thing, and it doesn't have to be expensive at all. You can find Panasonic GX7s right now, G7, excuse me, for $250, $300, maybe even cheaper if you really hunt. If you like me and you scour the used market, you can find some deals. Boy, you can find some deals. Tired of making content. That's why I'm learning the game. Yes, sir, man. It can become tiresome. That's why I've developed these methods of doing it that are a little bit easier, and they're not as tiresome. And again, me taking even this live stream and repurposing it, I'm going to drop it into an AI tool that is going to automatically chop it up. And not only chop it up, it's going to chop it up, it's going to resize it to be the size of a reel, and it's also going to add captions to that video. So that is killing 3 birds with 1 stone. Literally one tool, I drop my entire video into it, and it does the rest for me. And if I want to go back and edit and change where it clipped something, I can do that, or make some more clips out of it. But at least it gets me started, making a certain amount of clips out of this. That's the whole point. It's just getting to a starting point. And then I've talked about it a million times, but I use an app called Metricool. Let me see if I can put that up on the screen. Metricool, where you at? Yeah, so this is Metricool. So Metricool is a platform that allows you to have a lot of your social media accounts attached. And what's great about it is you can see analytics, you can see all your inboxes, and you can do planning. This is my magic tool right here. With the planning, I'm able to go in and I can see the percentage of people that are online from my follower base. It's going to literally analyze your account based on your follower base. And I can schedule out content. You can see right here, I've got some content that's going to go out here in about 30 minutes onto LinkedIn, onto Facebook, and also onto X. And if I wanted to make sure that was a good time for those other platforms, I can go here, click on X, and see, okay, cool, 82% of people over there. And I can even see tomorrow. Like, it's already predicting what the schedule is going to be for the next few days. So this is one of my tricks, guys, is using this tool to schedule out content. I've been a little lax this year because I've had a lot of projects going on that have kept me really busy. But when I have some downtime, I'm going to go in here, I'm going to populate a lot of this, because you can literally jump ahead, months in advance. You can really dig in here and get stuff. And these numbers are going to change over time because it's running an algorithm to analyze your follower base over time. But you can always move stuff around. Like, I could literally go back to today. Where's the button to go to current day? And I could grab any one of these and I can move it. I can say LinkedIn, you know what? I actually want the LinkedIn to go a little bit early. So cool. I just moved that up and now it's scheduled to go out early. Well, creating. Yep, audio engineer content. Yes, sir. That's what I'm doing, man. All audio engineer content. Most of my stuff is revolved around audio engineering. And on my personal Facebook, I'm a little bit more lax on that one. So I do some other stuff on that channel as well. I'm a Christian, so I share scriptures and different things that are going on in the church world and stuff like that. I'm a musician as well, so I share music stuff. But all my content is usually all related. Like, I find a way to relate it, even if it's a current event. I find a way to make that current event work some kind of way for audio. That's kind of part of the game, is you got to figure these things out. Is this a Pro Tools AI tool? We ain't got the Pro Tools AI yet. It's coming. It is coming. Pro Tools does not have anything as of yet, but there's already several plugin manufacturers that are dealing with AI. We all know, like, if you're using something like Clear or let's see, Clarity VX, like that's a neural network. So there's tons of plugins that have some AI capabilities built into them that you can use within Pro Tools. Yep. All right, cool. So let me get off because I've been here a lot longer than I thought I would. But we got through the entire Pro Tools update. And now I definitely need to get this session prep to mix because I need to mix tomorrow on that. So I will probably go live again later. I'm not sure. If you're not following me on all my platforms, please do that. Instagram, Dell Mixed It, X, LinkedIn, Facebook, all those platforms. Twitch, I'm on Twitch as well. But again, I'm gonna be doing a lot more daily live streams of just me working. So if you just want to tap in and see what I'm up to, then that'll be great. I'd love to see you guys there. I appreciate you guys so much for watching today and for commenting and keeping this thing engaging. If anybody is concerned about the Pro Tools update, just rewind this bad boy, go back to the beginning. You can see all the stuff about the new Pro Tools update. And if you got somebody that's asking, yo, what's up with the new Pro Tools update? Share this video with them. Go ahead and share it with them. Let them know, hey, Dell already did a whole live stream on it. He walked us through it. And then I'm pretty sure in the coming days and weeks, Avid is going to have some specific videos that are going to be for each one of these things. So like all the MIDI modules we talked about, they're going to have some videos specific to that. Matter of fact, let's just see. Let's take a look to see if Avid has already put out some stuff about this. Let's see. Pro Tools. All right, so. Yep, so here we go, right here. 19 minutes ago, Pro Tools MIDI effects plugin. So they've done a whole less than 5-minute video on all the MIDI effects. They've also done the detachable tabs, the custom Dolby Atmos live re-render. So literally, again, all the stuff we just talked about, like I said, Avid's already cooking up some content for that, all those specific things. I kind of gave you the overview of everything that's there. And then if you need to get more detailed about specific things, then just check out the Avid videos. They've got you covered there. And so I am going to go ahead and log off. You guys have been great. It's your man Dell Mixed It, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.